There we
Hello,
go.
everyone.
Hello, everyone. I
We
thought
are
I'd
back
look a
on
bit
track.
neater today, but never mind. Never mind. Okay, anyway.
I'm Jay.
I'm Charlotte, as you very well know.
Yeah.
Anything to start this off with?
We are back on track, and today we have a very interesting topic called Aren't I Right? It's about admitting the truth and having arguments, etc.
Yeah, I don't have anything to preface this with, so do you want me just to continue?
Yeah, let's continue with
the
the
next
questions.
question.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have our
We have a
audio
list of
part.
questions.
Yeah, so we go into more detail in the audio part, so this will be different. Okay, so same thing as I was doing before. I'll read this question twice. Can genuine love or a close relationship require setting aside the need to be right, even when the other person's view is distorted? So I'll read that again.
Mhm.
Can genuine love or a close relationship require setting aside the need to be right, even when the other person's view is distorted? I mean, who can say? Who decides whose view is distorted?
Yeah, so it's difficult to say. So I think that, especially when it comes to close relationships, people should be able to sometimes to surrender, to let people win.
Pick your battles, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that it's not that important to insist that you're right all the time.
Well, yeah, because if you insist that you're right, then the other person is just doing this thing as well, but for you.
Yeah.
Right?
So the main thing is, especially in relationships, you should meet each other halfway.
Yeah.
And which means that sometimes people will disagree with you, and you will have to do something, not to force them to agree with you, but simply to let them do what they want to do.
I mean, yeah. I don't think I have too much to say about this question. I think it's just like a regular tenet of adult life.
Yeah, but when people disagree to do something, they are sometimes being childish, because children usually want everything from their parents, and if both partners are childish, that's very sad.
That's true.
So you should behave as like a grown-up.
Yeah, because I
Like
was
a
kind of
grown-up person.
imagining this in the context of just like a discussion about something maybe a bit more abstract, I suppose. But yeah, of course. That's true. I mean, of course, we can definitely have a gauge to see if someone's views are reasonable. Like, for example, someone says, oh, I don't want to do the dishes because I just don't like it. Some variation of that, because it scares me. I don't
Do
know.
the dishes, you picked up a new phrase from America.
What is it in British English?
To do the washing up. Do the dishes is something I did in 2003 when I was a dishwasher and a maintenance man.
Yeah,
and
say
a
wash
trash
the
man.
dishes, yeah, in UK as well, but maybe not do the dishes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to remember that one. My partner is American, so
Yeah.
we were trying to figure out if I'd finally picked up some American.
Yeah, of course.
That's
Right.
funny, actually. But yeah, of course, if someone says, I don't want to do the washing up because it scares me, you can't just be like, oh yeah, that's a fair view, I accept that, Like, we can't just don't be so open-minded your brain falls out, basically. Okay, I'll just move on to number 6.
Yeah.
Does truth become less healing when it is used as a weapon in an argument? And what inner function does that weapon serve? I'm going to read that again. Does truth become less healing when it is used as a weapon in an argument? And what inner function does that weapon serve? I mean, I don't think truth and healing are that linked.
Yeah, not in this case, at least not in this case. So the truth can be healing if it helps you overcome some problem and eventually grow up. Like, for example, when someone tells you that you are being childish, behaving that way, and you come to realize that you actually were behaving in that way, then maybe you will eventually change your attitude and you will grow up.
Yeah.
And it will be healing in a sense. It will be painful, of course, but it will be healing because your old childish attitude rooted in your maybe bad experience when you were a kid, you were, I don't know, spoiled by your parents or just abused by your parents, anything. And now that you are a grown-up person, you should behave in a grown-up way. So
Yeah.
in that way, it could be healing.
I guess, yeah, when people hear like the same thing a few times, they really should start to like take the hint that maybe they're the problem, basically. But to be honest, yeah, does truth become less healing when it is used as a weapon in an argument? I mean, what I'm thinking of here is like people saying, you're this, you're that, blah, blah, blah. I'm very guilty of this, by the way. It says, what inner function does that weapon serve? For me, it serves to get all of my feelings out in not necessarily a healthy manner. Because at least for me, basically, it's not like having an argument, but just like sometimes you get to the end of your tether. Especially lately with me now, I've just come back from the US, I'm back in Russia, there are a lot of like bureaucratic things to deal with.
Yeah.
And I feel like some things have been put on my plate that shouldn't be, so that's a discussion I've been having. And I know that I can go too far, that's for sure, just unnecessary blah, blah, blah without thinking. I don't think it's a good thing, I don't think it's healing at all. And that's like not necessarily the intention, it's just like blurting out stuff. So that's me saying I do something.
Most of
that
the
sucks.
arguments are not intended to heal anyone's feelings. So they are intended just, it's like a game. You should use your rhetoric to prove your point.
Yeah, I absolutely lose my sense in arguments. I'll be honest about that. Alright. Are there conditions in which a false or partial belief does more emotional good than a destabilizing truth? I'm actually going to skip that because I think we've kind of
you
made
can
like...
feel free to skip any questions you disagree with.
Yeah, because we've kind of already talked about that one a lot. Okay, I will talk about this one because I also have some kind of strong feelings on this. I'll read it twice again. Is uncertainty a form of honesty or an avoidance of needed conviction?
Well, actually, it can be either. Not both simultaneously, but either, because sometimes people are hesitant and because they do not feel safe, and they cannot state their case openly because they're afraid of being criticized, ridiculed, punished, etc. But in other cases, you can be uncertain because you truly fully realize that there may be some other points of view which you'd like to take into account.
Sure, like there's a difference between saying you don't know something and just like talking around a topic very passively, right?
When people don't know, sometimes they say, I don't care, which means that they don't want anyone to tell them the truth. They simply just want to do not want to discuss the subject. But when they truly do not know, they state it openly, I don't know, actually I don't know, and then they explain what exactly they don't know. And they can add whether they would like to know about it or not.
Yeah.
Maybe they would say something like, I'm not a big expert in this field. So, and by the way, I have changed my attitude towards people and to myself recently. I realized that maybe I should simply admit that I may be often, if not always, mistaken, but it's just my way of thinking or saying or doing something, and I do not want to be always right. It's psychological. I do not want to be always right because it's childish.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
When I was a child, as a 5-year-old kid, I always wanted to win when I wrestled with my dad, for example. And he just let me win every single time because I was childish and Now that I'm a grown-up person, I think that it's time to be able to admit that we all make mistakes as humans. So that's why.
Of course, yeah, we shouldn't be afraid to make mistakes as well. I chose this one because I actually get quite frustrated with uncertainty, and by that I don't mean like me asking someone about something and then saying like I don't know. I mean like people just kind of like saying nothing to avoid like talking about a specific topic, something serious. I think it's more about cowardly or passiveness than like specifically just uncertainty. But back to the question in general, is uncertainty a form of honesty? Of course it can be. If you genuinely don't know if you're stuck on something, you can say that. There's no reason why that would be a lie. But a lot of the time it can be an avoidance of needed conviction. If you're just saying, you know, you can deal with this, I don't want to deal with it. I think it's pretty simple.
Yeah. And by the way, people are afraid of the real uncertainty. They're afraid of it. That's why when they choose to sound that way, it means that there is something else about it. Like maybe they don't want to tell, to say the whole truth, etc. Maybe they simply wouldn't like to engage in the debate.
Well, since we're speaking about this kind of topic, I'm going to skip ahead to question 11.
Yeah.
Is it possible to be too honest in close relationships? And what defensive or relational benefits might tactful omission provide? I chose this because this kind of leads on from what I was talking about earlier in the audio section, where when I chose to be completely 100% honest all of the time with my friends, which was just stupid.
You wanted to be like a real Christian, yeah?
Well, I thought it was
That's
like the right thing to do, and that everything I said and did was okay because I was being honest. But in actual fact, they didn't need to know everything I liked or disliked about some event or about them. Like, it was just ridiculous.
I can imagine it was a big OTT.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, it is possible to be too honest in close relationships. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it is possible, but usually people are afraid of being too honest themselves because they know a lot about themselves, and sometimes they hide something which is worth hiding. So not everything should be discussed openly, although we try to sound liberal and open, etc. But it does not necessarily mean that we want to discuss everything.
Well, yeah, we shouldn't equate thoughts with speech. What I mean is like a thought is just a thought. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't like reflect on your kind of inner core beliefs. We can all have fleeting thoughts. But as soon as you speak that thought and you choose to do it, then it's not just a thought, it's an action. And understandably, people might take issue with that. So we should be careful not to equate the two, actually.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts from you before we finish up?
Any final thoughts? So I think that it's only natural to make mistakes, and if you think that you are a bit of a perfectionist like I used to be, or if you're afraid of someone criticizing you, maybe there is something psychological about it. Maybe you should try to be more open gradually. You can read something about psychotherapy, you can read different books, you can listen to different people who have overcome this condition, or not necessarily condition, but simply this problem. So, and that's why if you let people win the argument, just let them win the argument, just to see how happy they will be, just to let them be happy, because not all people are mature enough to simply admit the whole truth.
And being alive isn't about arguing with people. So well said. Thank you. Well, nice to be back. Nice to see you. And I guess I'll see you on Friday. That was great.
See you Friday. Yes, see you Friday.
Great. Thank you for preparing
Cheers.
that for us.
Bye for now.
Cheers.
Thank you.